To say that I've been busy would be an understatement. The summer has just been summering, and I have been 100% there for it. I have had a ton of walks, a lot of sun. I've been drinking my water. I've been eating nutritious food. I've been resting. I've been reading the Bible. I have been reading books. I've been reading authors. I've been reading Amy Tan. I've been reading Polly Marshall. I've started reading Laura Esquivel. I've been reading Isabel Allende. I've been reading short stories. I've been listening to literary podcasts. There's this great one that the New York Times has, and they read short stories by different authors. I've been listening to Julia Louis-Dreyfus has a podcast. It's called Wiser Than Me, and she talks to women in their 70s and 80s and just gets them to share wisdom. I've been spending time, little time with family, little time with friends, but I've been doing a whole lot of stuff on my own. I'm writing right now, and I'm working on a very, very big writing project. And so it has taken so much time. In fact, for my vacation this year, I actually went on a writing retreat, and I was originally going to take a day trip to Kalamazoo because I love the romance of riding on a train. But don't you know, I came down with bronchitis. And so I decided I didn't want to be in a small enclosed space. So the first couple of, I think it was the first 3 days of my writing retreat, I actually was at home. I did an away message on my phone. And so I was not answering calls. I was not chatting on text. I was really focused. So I would get up in the morning, I would do my devotions, I would exercise, I would eat, and then I would write. And I was writing like it was my job. And so I got all these pages done, and there was so much plot development. And when I felt a little better, I decided to take my trip. Oh, wait, before I felt better, I actually did experiences each day. So one of my experiences was going to the library. Another one was actually driving to IKEA. I live really far from IKEA. And so it was like going on a road trip. And IKEA was great because I could look at furniture and think about scenes and think about how rooms should look. And I just browsed through there, and I think I only spent $23. I bought plants and a spatula. And then I went, did some writing in a coffee house that evening. So I was, it was like the ultimate in a staycation because I was going to places around me, but I was treating it like a vacation. I went to this one little place in a little suburb, and I can't remember the official name of it, but the little tagline under the name is "We have beautiful things." And I'm like, beautiful things? I want to be there. So I went to that place and looked around and told stories and talked to people. Had like a mind altering massage, like mind altering. Some of the things that I'm writing about concern generational trauma. And so when you think about those things, you research those things, you can hold some of it in your body. And I've been going to my masseuse for many years, and he told me he could actually feel like things leaving my body. We barely talk in years. We probably had 100 words of conversation, and we were talking about how he could like feel something happening. It was kind of weird, but it was great. And then I actually had a component of my writing retreat where I left the area and I went to Amherstburg, Ontario, which is not too far from where I live. And I went to this gorgeous hotel, and it was called the Hotel Story, and every room was a chapter. So I stayed in one of the chapters because so they're all, the decor in each room is very, very different. And I had a kitchen and, a little dining area. And this is like one of the smaller rooms. Honestly, I think I stayed in the ugliest room there, and it was beautiful. Marble in the shower. There were one, two, three, four, six heads on the shower, which was awesome. And there was a semi-private balcony, and I shared that with just one of the guests, so I was able to go out and write in the early morning and write late at night, and feel safe, not feel like anyone was going to walk up on me, and or whether it was humans or animals or whatever, it was traffic. And so at one point I just fell asleep in the sun writing, which is so great. And I also went to this little place in Amherstburg called Hole in the Wall, and it was set up like a F. Scott Fitzgerald era speakeasy. And so that was their time of prohibition. And so it's in the back of like a bookstore, and I couldn't even find the entrance. I had these reservations because I wanted to try their lamb chops. So I went, and they were out of lamb chops, but I had this pasta verde with rock shrimp. It was amazing. And I wasn't really drinking much on this trip, so actually I don't drink much at all, but I had this delicious mocktail there, and it was cool because it was just a very kind of sexy spot, right? And I booked a spot in the lounge area, so there's these beautiful velvet chairs, and then there was people watching, and I was literally doing writing exercises in the hotel where I was like, I'd pick a person and I'd write, what I thought their life was like, and that's really good for character development, not my character, but the development of the characters, right, in a book. So I did that, and I went back home for the day, and wrote on my little balcony, and then I wrote the next day in a coffee shop for an extended time. And there were about maybe 2 or 3 more days left to my vacation. I'm not doing very well with math right now, but I wrote and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote, and I prioritized it. And I wanted to come and tell you guys about it because I've been doing shorts about prioritizing your goals and how it's important to be laser focused, but I want to reiterate it because it's really important, because people were hot and bothered. People are accustomed to having access to me when they want to. People were being bugged by the out of way message. They were bugged that I wasn't calling them. There was even a rumor going around about where I went, which was hilarious to me. So I kept pretty close contact with my mom because, I didn't want her to get worried. But other than that, I was gone. And it was really good for me because I was able to relax and focus on what I want to do. And I think if I could give a piece of advice, I would advise, if you have a goal that you're trying to reach, that you allow yourself the gift of focus. And what that means is you may have to say no to others' expectations of you. And that can be difficult, especially if you're like me and you have the personality of a people pleaser. You don't ever want to say no. You want people to be happy. You want people to be satisfied. And sometimes you want it to your own detriment. And that's what happens to me. I want people to be happy. And so often I make people happy instead of making myself happy. Now, don't get me wrong. There is a place for that. There is a place for putting others above yourself. There is a place for ministering to people's needs. There's a place for kind of, putting aside what it is that you want in order to benefit someone else. There is a place for that. But balance is key. If you're doing that so much so that you are not doing what the Spirit has put in your heart to do, that's problematic. And I have been ignoring my gifts for quite some time because I've been trying to make people happy. That's really it. And I could get into details, but I won't. So I just really wanted to share what's been going on. I have not given up on Rue World Order, but my priorities this summer have definitely been around creativity, have been around writing. I feel like I've had to learn how to write again, right? Because it's not something I do as much as I did. And I'm writing in a different genre than I was writing in before. So there are things I need to learn. I'm sharpening my craft. There's a lot of research I've had to do for this book because there's, a lot of things I want to write about that I don't even actually know. So, yeah, man, that's how I'm spending my summer. My summer has been so good. It's been so good. But it does require me prioritizing my goals and prioritizing my gifts. And I gotta tell you, when I do it, I feel really good. Like last week, extremely busy on my day job, so much so that I didn't write for a week, and that has been unheard of this summer. So it's time for me to, what is it, take the bull by the horns, is that what they say, and start it up again and not lose my momentum, because it's important to have momentum. And and I will say too, in addition to not losing momentum, I've been taking excellent care of myself. You may notice how clear my skin is right now because I am taking excellent care of myself. I'm getting the sun I need. I'm getting the water I need. I'm getting the exercise I need. Actually, it's to the point, at a certain point at night, my body's like, aren't you going to go walk me? It's time for me to go out. And walking has been such a good way for me to relieve tension and to stimulate creativity. I often walk without any type of sound. I don't, listen. I don't always listen to music or podcast or anything. Sometimes I just listen to the trees and the kids whizzing past me on skateboards and bikes, and because I live in a neighborhood like that. And it's awesome. It's awesome. So I am actually having a very beautiful summer, which is interesting because it is a summer where my riches are not fully manifested. I'll put it that way. And so I've had to find other ways to satisfy myself, right? And it's just been good. It's been good leaning into gifts. It makes me feel like, yes, indeed, I'm living with purpose. Yes, indeed, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So it means, no, I can't go to dinner right now, and no, I can't go to this event or on this little trip or whatever because, it's not my priority. And, it's a little difficult when you're not prioritizing relationships, but I've really been prioritizing relationships for the last few years. And now it's time to prioritize the gifts that I've been given so that I'm using them appropriately, so that I'm not burying them in the ground so that they can actually grow. But baby, honey, sweetie, let me tell you, that is easier said than done. It is difficult. So I am so glad to be recording right now. I feel like I kind of missed you all. Y'all my 265 best friends. Oh, Lord. It's interesting. I thought that by now my channel was going to be huge. And no, it's not so much. But even so, I appreciate each and every person who takes time to listen to my videos, who takes time to comment, who gets in touch with me personally. I appreciate it because you could be any place in the world, doing anything in the world, and you choose to listen to me. And I appreciate that. I do. And so now comes the time that I say goodbye. But before I say goodbye, I'm going to ask that you support me. And supporting me means liking, commenting, or subscribing to this channel. Or actually, you could do all three. You could like this video, you could subscribe to this channel, and you could leave a comment. Matter of fact, you could dislike this video, and it would help me. If you say to me, baby, that's all a load of crap, and you hit thumbs down, that helps my engagement too. So have at it. So it's the apathy that doesn't work, or the people, so please subscribe. Please listen. I'll be talking more about my creative journey, and I appreciate you all so much. And I urge you to be authentically you, because I will always be Authentically Rue. Love you so much. I think I love you. I actually haven't met you. I love that you have come to support me, and I love the presence that you bring. There, accurate statement, true statement. Bye.